second part of the discussion on web-based course management. And I thought I'd start out here over at the solanoonline.org site, which is where we have our eCompanions. So the way you'd get here, of course, is you'd type into this website, and you'd ask Sandy Rotenberg for a shell, and she'll set one up for you pretty quickly, and then give you an ID and a password, and that will then take you to the portal, the front page for the eCollege site. And students who are accustomed to doing an online course are very familiar with this environment. And if they're not, it really doesn't take them much time to figure it out. This has a listing of the courses I've taught, that I'm teaching currently, and the courses I've taught in the past. You'll notice here there's the fall of 2008, then the spring of 2008, and this keeps a track of all the courses that I've been teaching over time. And the big advantage of this is that once you set up a course as an eCompanion, you can copy and paste it to the previous, to another semester. So what's here for the fall of '08 probably came from the fall of '07, and I simply update as I go. The other nice feature that's here on this first page, this beginning page, is a tutorial, an instructional design tutorial for yourself, and then a tutorial for your students. And I recommend you taking a peek at this tutorial. It's much more in depth than I'll be doing today, but what I'll do will at least give you an idea of what's out there. So here's let's click on the course that I have. This is my Spanish course, and of course what you'll have, it will be a blank shell, and your job will be to populate it, to put in the things you value in your teaching. I guess we'd look here at this area here. On the left-hand side is the kind of the course content area, and then the place up here is the toolbar, and this area is where you do most of your viewing. If we start at the course content area, you'll notice that this is divided into chapters, and that's what I've decided to do. However, you could divide it any way you like. Maybe it's by theme, by unit, and of course I decide what to put here. That's why it's in Spanish, because I teach Spanish, and so it's capítulo 7. Yours, however, might be something different. Inside, I've again generated these different categories. I even put the little picture that I wanted. Yours would be totally different. And I've chosen areas that I want my students to, places that larger file spots of places where I think of information that I think my students will need. So I have some presentations here. You'll notice that this should bring up a PowerPoint presentation in just a moment. And it's coming a little slow. There it is. See, so this is a PowerPoint presentation that I got from the textbook company, but I think my students might value. Another thing I have here are these transparencies, and these are just things that, practice sheets that I might put up on there's information that I might put up on the overhead projector, or using the document camera. You'll notice that when I clicked on it, it's asking me, do I want to open it or save it, meaning that my students could have this same choice. They can open it inside the browser, or they can save it to their desktop. I'm going to choose just to open it. It's taking a little more time than it normally does, but maybe that's because I'm recording. Let's see. Well, there we go. I'm going to sneak back to the next page and keep talking, and then come back to it in a minute. And then I have exercises and review docs, and then some resources that I think are valuable for my students. And within the resources is a nice example for us to see that you can embed YouTube videos in YouTube videos in eCollege. And so this is a YouTube video that I have from my class, and it'll kick on and talk to us a little bit about something that, this is about a Second Life project. So that's the YouTube video on that. So that's pretty much the content for me. I kind of repeat the same stuff over and over again, because what I value doesn't change from chapter to chapter. Let's take a look back here and see. Oh, there it is. So this is a worksheet that I would have put up on the preterite tense, the past tense, and it's just any number of transparencies. And students can then copy this and bring it to class. I think that's really a great idea for students to come prepared to class by bringing their own materials, bringing the materials that I think are good to have. Let's take another peek here at now let's take a look at the toolbar that's at the top. You'll notice this is course administration here. So if I want to change the look and feel of the course, or enable certain tools, or do my preferences on threaded discussions and those kinds of things, it's all here. The next area is, and there's more here, of course. There's group management, so I can create groups if I needed them. The next area I think is perhaps the most complicated to deal with, because it takes us as a bit of a learning curve with setting up a grade book. But basically, it comes blank and you fill it in. But for chapter 7 for me, I have lab manuals and participation and quizzes that I give, and these of course would be the grades that I would put up. And the grade book is set up right up here at the top, and I choose items that I want to put into my grade book, and then I tell them what chapter they relate to, and then I assign them points. And it's nice because you can distribute a grade across different assignments. That's a pretty nice thing. I can also set up different preferences here about the grade book. I find this is a really valuable tool for my students in particular, because they never ask me, or when they ask me what's my grade in this class, I simply tell them to go online and look it up. And I think that's really an empowering tool for them. They know exactly where they sit with grades all the time. And it also helps me to kind of keep my grade book straight. I'm not sure if you've ever done it, but I've put a grade in wrong, and students are quick to tell you what you missed, and it's good information. This is the email client that they have through eCompanions, and it's really nice because I can send an email to all my students or just certain students, and that's something different than what you might or might not be able to do with the My Solano banner. For them, it's all or nothing. There are some workarounds, but it's a little complicated. And I can also include someone from outside the class in this CC area. I can put in, right, that kind of thing. And this new visual editor that you see here is a new feature for eCollege. This being able to choose different fonts is a nice feature, and to underline and to link things, and that's a nice feature that's relatively new. If we keep going along, we're going to see that there's this live section, and in the live section you can create a chat room in which you dialogue with your students live. That's a nice feature. You just sort of log in and tell your students you'll be logged in, and they can log in and join you in a chat room. There's also doc sharing, where you can students can add different documents, or articles or things that they think are kind of important that the class might enjoy reading. Maybe you've assigned some document, or you've assigned them to go out and find a particular something, and this is where they could upload it. There's also a Dropbox, and the difference between doc sharing and a Dropbox is the difference between a bulletin board and a mailbox. The Dropbox is specifically assigned to a particular graded item, and the doc sharing is more open. There's also a journal space where you could assign students to write a little something, perhaps maybe an evaluation for the day, something like that. Maybe you want to have them evaluate themselves or your teaching style or something. That might be a place to do it. And then lastly, a webliography. These are places where I've put up links to websites that I value. I want to keep this under 10 minutes, so I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, give me a call. Come by my office. Again, this is Jeff Lamb in Teaching and Learning Center. My extension is 4598. All right, go have a great day. Talk to you soon.